Precision Racing League proudly presents the American PS4 F1 Championship Series Season number 11, full-time drivers roster and team assignments. Alfa Romeo Sauber F1 team, two-time defending champion McSendit and Aaron Webb. Three-time defending manufacturer champion Mercedes AMG Petronas Motorsports, Marquesas and Buji Prime. Renault Sports Formula 1 team, Mystic Joker and Aerostrike. Scuderia Ferrari, Nick Dahi and Mebe. Aston Martin Red Bull Racing, J-Rod and Gordau. McLaren F1 team, K-Dog Honda and Oxful. Haas F1 team, Chappa and Prowler. Red Bull Toro Rosso Honda, Brian Mosser and Bubba. Racing Point Force India F1 team, Ranga and AB. Williams Martini Racing, Axton, Soldier 6. And that is your full-time drivers roster and team assignments for season number 11 of the PRL's American PS4 F1 Championship Series. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's American PS4 F1 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitchland, you know me as Old Man Hoot. And here we go. It is time to go for real. This is season number 11, race number 1. As tradition has it, we are in Melbourne. This is the Australian Grand Prix. We have a brand new game, brand new features, a much more excited multiplayer experience this time around. One flaw that F1 2017 had was tire wear was not an issue. Tire wear is huge in 2018. We're talking 3 to 4 different kind of strategies we'll see play out tonight alone. So, before we do that though, let's go ahead and first, like we said, we are in Australia. Anybody new to F1, anybody new to the channel, let's take a moment, and before we get into the drivers, let's get you introduced to the track. Just south of the heart of Melbourne, Australia, you'll find the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. One lap around here will take the drivers 3.296 miles as they tackle 16 turns, 10 to the right, 6 to the left, as they race around the beautiful Albert Park Lake in this fast and flowy street circuit. A very important factor to a lap around Melbourne is getting a great run off of turn 16. This is a DRS straightaway on the pit straight. Going into turn 1 is going to present a great passing opportunity, so you want to make sure that you're able to get fully along a driver if you want to go through this, not really a chicane, but a fast right-left. You're going to straighten back out. You're going to curve a little bit to the right, but at this point you're going flat out as you're approaching turn number 3. Again, a little bit on the brake, you're going to go hard to the right, a little bit of a short shoot, and then a kind of a blind fast left-hander. You want to carry speed. Now you're going to bend off to the right once again, but going flat out, attacking the curbing. You're going to veer to the right, veer to the left, then get on the brakes as you tackle another right-left combo. You're going to veer again, off to the right. You're going to then shoot off to the left side of the straightaway, hard on the brakes. Again, a right-left combo. You're going to be on another fast section of the circuit. You're going to veer off to the left, but again, you're going flat out. Now, turn number 11 is tricky. It's a quick left-hander. You want to carry as much speed as possible and then attack the curbing on 12 so you can carry that speed again off that right-hander. Again, you're going to veer to the right, but still going flat out. There's a lot of throttle time here at Melbourne. Hard on the brakes. To the right, we're going to go down a short shoot, and we're going to tackle another right-hander, turn 14. Straighten the car out, veer off to the right-hand side, on the brakes, left for turn number 15. You're going to bypass the entrance to pit road, try to carry the throttle as much as you can on turn 16, back on the pit straight, crossing the start-finish line, and that is a lap around the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. And there you go. That is an up-close and personal tour around the circuit that the drivers will tackle tonight for approximately 45 minutes in this race. All right. We saw all the new cars. We saw all the new teams. We've now seen the track. Let's now focus on the drivers. We're still not even halfway through qualifying, so we've got a pretty good amount of time yet. So before we focus on the scoreboard, let's go ahead and give the drivers some love. Now, one thing that we're introducing this season for the F1 League is a top 10 power ranking for the drivers. So first, let's go ahead. We're going to start 6 through 10. This is heavily based on last season's results. We do have several new drivers, several new rookies to the season who showed tremendous skill in preseason. This is going to get mixed up a lot, which is going to be very excited to see. So first, starting off our top 10, we go to one half of the team champions, Renga. He was solidly finding himself inside the points, never did flirt with a podium, however, did put himself in the Hall of Fame with a fast lap. So Renga, out of the Mercedes, in the Force India, looking to make some noise. Number 9, our GT3 champion in the PRL, K-Dog. He is last season, or excuse me, in 2017, he was in the pink, he was in the Bumblebee. Now he finds himself in the orange and McLaren, still the same teammate in Oxford. K-Dog is looking to improve that open wheel skills of his. Number 8, a man who captured his first career podium last season, who made strides in the Red Bull, and is the only driver still driving the same car from last season, J-Rod, back in the Red Bull, looking to make some noise. We already had one call-out in chat for J-Rod for a podium. That is his teammate Gordau, who unfortunately is having some power issues. Can't join him in, but giving some love for the Red Bull. Number 7, a man who finally ended that podium drought that he had for so long last season. We're talking the manager of this fine league, Aaron Webb, driving the beautiful Alfa Romeo. Number 6, somebody who is not ranked last season, a returning winner, a returning championship contender from F1 2016. Mebe is back in hopefully full force. He'll be in the Ferrari red. That was 6 through 10. Now, the top 5 entering season number 11. Nick Dahi in the Ferrari red, teaming up with Mebe. Nick captured a race win in Silverstone on F1 2017. He has 2 PC championships to his name. He's looking to bring a PS4 championship as well. He is a previous manufacturer championship. As a matter of fact, Nick Dahi was part of a team the last time Mercedes didn't win the championship. That was back in the McLarens in F1 2016. We have teammates rocking 3rd and 4th. They made a charge at the Manufacturers Championship last season, fell a little bit short, but now we're going to make a run in a brand new car. 3rd place, Mystic Joker, the 3-time champion. Again, teaming up with Aerostrike. Both guys are really feeling it. Even though, unfortunately, I will go ahead and take a peek at the radar. One half of this team is not here. So that puts even more pressure on Aerostrike to perform for the Renaults. Aerostrike, we remember as well, won his very first race in that insane finish at Monza back in season number 10, the closest finish in league history. And while Mr. Joker won 6 races, again, he didn't quite have the speed. He dedicated the end of 2017 to getting the wheel figured out, getting himself dialed in, and making a championship run. However, unfortunately, he's going to put himself behind the 8 ball tonight as he is not in qualifying. 1 and 2, Norshak. Let's go to number 2, who was number 2 in points and the only multi-time winner with McSendit back in season 10. And that's going to be Marquesas. Last year, we knew him as Odoms. So, as it's stated there, Odoms is the only guy on a weekly basis who could contend with McSendit on speed. He has to fix up his racecraft, and he knows it. That's the one thing stopping him from becoming a champion. So, Marquez is a tremendous talent. He's looking to keep the wheels on the car more this time. We know he has the speed with the poles and the fast laps that he got, and the multiple wins. So now he's just got to put that racecraft together and try to take the crown from our top-ranked driver, the two-time defending champion, Mick Sendit. He has traded away the Mercedes. He is in the brand-new Alfa Romeo Sauber, that beautiful livery. Mick Sendit, though, he's already called it out. We know he's going to be fast. He's naturally gifted. Mick Sendit, though, was using some assists last season. He is going completely fresh. No assist at all. So he says expect his speed to fall off a little bit. However, once we take this down and we get ourselves back to the track, if I know how to work my OBS, there we go. Mick Sendit trying to flirt with us, trying to say he's going to be slower. Currently sitting P1 on the second round of sets that they're doing. Now with 18 minutes in qualifying, these guys are able to do three runs. Now, unfortunately, when we were going through the intros, we had a couple incidents. Dano has wrecked out. Bougie Prime has wrecked out. Chapa was able to get a time in, but now he is done in qualifying. So we've got three guys who are done. Now, after the second stint, like I said, we have Mick Sendit. Let's go ahead and look at our intervals. He has a half second on Nick Dahi, who showed real good strength and speed in preseason with this new game. Arrow currently sitting third. He's bringing his Renault in. He's getting fresh tires. He'll make one last stab at it as he is 9/10 of a second off the pole pace. Gordau in chat was calling it out. His teammate, there he is, J-Rod. Second and a half off pole, but currently sitting fourth. So a very strong run for the Red Bull. However, there's some big names at the bottom of this list who have still yet to qualify. And that'll be Mebe, we know is fast. Marquez, we know is fast. Axton, in his rookie season, he snagged a podium in France in our first preseason race. Axton has some speed as well. And there we go, J-Rod, there's some speed that we were talking about. Put the Red Bull P3, he just jumped Aerostrike. He is within a half second now of Mick Sendit. So great lap for J-Rod. Based where he's at too, he will still have time to go around, put on a fresh set, and give it one last hurrah if he wishes. All right, let's go P5. Actually, let's go P5, P6. They are in the pits right now. This is a team that we're familiar to seeing. However, they're in a brand new car. That's going to be Brian Mosser and Bubba in the Toro Rossos. Both drivers did not score a lot of points. As a matter of fact, Bubba scored one single point last season. Brian scored a little more than a handful. But look at that gentleman right now, P5, P6. This is a great start to the season, what they want to see. However, like with everybody else, qualifying and racing are two completely different monsters. But if you can start up front, potentially in front of the turn one, lap one carnage, that's just going to make it even better. So great job by the Toro Rosso drivers. A fellow PS4 champion in the GT3 series. Man, I'm talking way too much. K-Dog Honda in the McLaren, currently sitting P7 right now. Making strides every time he goes out there. In F1, the man is great with fenders, still honing in that open wheel craft. We saw it last season, just getting better race by race, slowly picking up that speed, getting that consistency. K-Dog looking nice right now in P7. One thing that K-Dog did a lot last season, though, was qualified outside the top 10 and utilized tire strategy to his advantage to constantly find himself in the points. Sitting pretty right now, though. He might not be able to do that. All right, P8, Aaron Webb. He already said it in chat. This is the teammate of Mick Sendit in the Sauber this year. Aaron, 2.2 seconds off pole, but unfortunately was a little obstructed in his previous lap. So he'll get back out there. He still has time to get out there and do one more lap. He was 10th in the power rankings, currently sitting 10th on the standings. Renga in the Force India, donning the pink. His teammate, AB, currently sitting 13th as well. And Gordau, yes, safety car is on. Oh, I'm sorry, LSR, yes. Safety car is on. However, we tried our butts off. As a matter of fact, we had 7 different cars wreck at Singapore in predominant areas. no safety car came out. That is the one downfall to this game. For all the stuff that they've done right, the safety car is still broken, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I missed the pop-up. Give me 1 second here. I've got to give some love. Sims, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. As now I turn back to the TV and AB is mowing some grass. He's doing the right thing, though. Unfortunately, it looks like he had some issues in 1 and 2. Doesn't want to impede anybody's quality lap, so he is out. Speaking of out, so Axton is going to start in the back. He did not put down a quality time. Marquesis still in the pits. He never came out. Mebe is out. So we'll keep an eye on Mebe now, as he is going to get a last-minute run. Nick Dahi has jumped up P1 by 25 one-thousandths of a second. We know that Ferrari is going to be fast. Like I said, he has shown it so far early in this game. And he is looking to take the fight to McSendit. Not only is McSendit your two-time defending champion, he swept Australia in 2017, winning both races. However, he dominated the first season. The second season, he won the race, but he didn't cross the line first. That was Marquesis. Beat him to the line, but a time penalty awarded McSendit the win. So I know McSendit's going to look to bounce back. He is on a heater right now. This is a fast lap for him. We've also got J-Rod. He is starting his fast lap. We've got all our top guys out there right now. Aerostrike is out there. Both Toro Rossos are out there. And here we go. He came out of the pits at the very end. We called him out. He is on the power rankings, even though he didn't race last season. Mebe jumps up P1. We're looking where McSendit is and where Dahi is. All right, we're going to ride with the two-time champ. He will cross the line before Nick Dahi. So we're going to see if McSendit can jump up and grab that pole back. Nick Dahi, he does have a car in front of him. I believe that's K-Dog. He's a little bit too far back. You see, also, too, one thing I didn't mention that I should have is that these tracks also have extra DRS zones. McSendit goes faster, but falls short of Mebe. He's currently sitting P2. Dahi trying to get a little bit of slip off K-Dog. He appeared to be just a little bit too far ahead, but we're going to see what happens when Dahi crosses the line. Can he jump up there? Can he contend for the front row? Yes, he can. We talked about this season being a lot more competitive. We are looking at 1, 2, and 3 within a hundredth of a second. Not a tenth. No, a tenth is way too much. We're talking hundredths of a second. Absolutely nuts. Mebe looking in top form right now. Let's watch. We've got Arrow crosses the line. He's going to take P4 back from J-Rod. However, J-Rod is out there in the Red Bull right now. He's about halfway through his lap. We'll keep an eye on him. Bubba is done. Bubba can do no better than P7. Brian Mosser, he's in the pits. He can do no better than P6. So right now the eyes are on the Red Bull of J-Rod. And not sure. That was McSendit, who was done with qualifying. His AI car did not ghost out. McSendit was not at the wheel of the car, and that was an absolute crusher for J-Rod. Still a great qualifying performance. J-Rod will be 5th, but unfortunately the Red Bull just got taken away by a flaw in the game design. And you know what, Arrow? I was digging in OBS. I never saw that. Apparently, Marquesis disconnected in the first few minutes of qualifying. We are questioning if he is coming back in. We'll look at that here, though, as we progress to the race. But Mebe capturing his first pole in quite a while. He's going to start up front. Dahi to his outside. McSendit and Arrow make up the second row. With J-Rod, again, shout out to Toro Rosso. They're going to take 6th and 7th. Brian and Bubba, great starts. We got K-Dog, Aaron, and Chapa rounding out your top 10. Ranga, Prowler, Soldier, AB, Bougie, Paxton, Dano, those drivers are going to be able to start on whatever tire they wish, so they'll be able to utilize a different tire strategy than the guys up front. There is no rain in the forecast, so everybody is going to start on the tires they made their fastest qualifying lap with. Drivers are now doing their pre-race adjustments. They're making sure they get the fuel where they want, get their tire strategies hopefully the way they want. We could see 1 stops. We could see 2 stops. 2 stops, maybe an early pit, maybe a late pit. It's going to be exciting. Also, too, new to this season, the ERS system. We're going to show it on the telemetry. I'll go into a little bit more detail once we get into the race. But pretty much the ERS has taken over for the fuel game that we were seeing in the previous games. Now it's still there. The drivers can run lean, regular, or rich, but it's not as important as toggling that ERS system. We're going to wait till we get into the race, we get some action, and then we're going to show you guys that ERS in full force. Waiting for the last few drivers now to load up. Now, one thing I am excited to see. Oh, there is no parade lap. We are going into the race. And here we go. We're jumping back to Aero Strike real quick. Aero with a great run. Dahi falls off. Actually, Dahi, I don't know if Dahi was expecting that at all. I think a lot of these guys may have been expecting the parade lap. But Brian Mosser jumps up P5. Great start. It says Aaron Webb's up front, but he is mid-pack. Mebe is your real leader with McSendit. We've got issues. I don't think, yeah, Odom's never loaded in. He's in the pits. Unfortunately, Renga has that issues. Dano's his issues. I'm not sure who that Mercedes, that was Bougie. So unfortunately, a couple guys in the back having issues. We got to go back up front and not to Aaron Webb. There it goes. It finally caught up with Aaron at 8th. So Mebe, your pole sitter, keeps the lead right now. He's got McSendit right behind him. Arrow, Nick has fought back. He is up to 4th. Brian Mosser, though, got around J-Rod. Taking over the 5th spot. Bubba holds strong. He's got Aaron Webb behind him. K-Dog. Let's look at our scoreboard. So unfortunately, Ranga was the big loser off the start. Not sure what happened, if it was contact or not, but he has dropped pretty healthy. And we said Nick got caught off the light. He dropped a couple spots. J-Rod dropped a couple spots. I'm really wondering if that just caught guys off guard. Hey, Zeke. The pole time, I believe, was a 120, was it 120.2? And here we go. And unfortunately, when I was looking at that, we missed it. Aero Strike has made a move. Oh, no, Aero Strike was in front of Nick. He's trying to hold that gap. Let's look at the gaps between each other real quick. Here we go. Next time around, DRS will be open. There are 2 DRS zones here at Australia. You got to go back to 5th place, Brian Mosser. That's the first driver without DRS. Bill Bryan's creating a gap on J-Rod. J-Rod's got a little bit on Bubba, but Bubba's got a whole bunch of Aaron Webb behind him. Aaron taking a peek. Knew that wasn't the best spot. He tucked back in as we saw Bubba with a nice slide, but grabbed it. Aaron's also got K-Dog right behind him. This is a 3-car battle for 7th place. Dahi starting to close in on Aero Strike. Not a shocker. Those two had some tremendous battles. It seemed like every race back in F1 2017, so they're picking up right where they left off. K-Dog falling back a little bit of Aaron. Aaron's trying to close back into Bubba. Yeah, Sam, and I think that's really what it was, because we were doing the parade lap in preseason. So no parade lap at the start of this race, and I think that's what happened to Nick Dahi. Oh, Bubba, way too hot into the penultimate corner. Slid it out, able to catch it, and J-Rod! Oh no! On the front stretch, we finally can get to the Red Bull. Not sure what happened. That was a very weird spot to spin out. So I'm not sure if he was pedaling the car, trying to save it, and it spun out after the fact. But unfortunately, J-Rod, who was sitting pretty up, battling for a top 5, now finds himself at the bottom of the grid with a broken left front wing. Tough break for the Red Bull driver. Up front, Mebe off to a good start, trying to keep McSendit at a DRS. McSendit is just within. However, now is the battle for 3rd. We were talking about it. Dahi attack. Oh! He attacked Arrow. Arrow coming in a little bit hot there to the right, left. Luckily, no harm, no foul. Now Arrow's going to look to go onto the attack. All right, and with the issues that Bubba had, he has dropped 2 spots and move Aaron Webb up to 6, K-Dog up to 7. Ciampa holding steady right now in 9th place, trying to bring the fight to Bubba. He didn't have the finish that he wanted to in Singapore, but Ciampa surprising a lot of us, showing impressive speed as he had a DRS run, but it looked like a little bit of desync right there. So, scary moment, decided to back off, and we have our first DNF, and that's going to be Dano. The car is drivable, but he went ahead and he's... Oh, no, that was AB who is in the gravel. So, unfortunately, Dano filling in for the McLaren is done for this race. Oh, Bubba's dropping like a rock. And Bubba, that is really, really weird. So Bubba is spun in the same spot on the front stretch as J-Rod. So what it must be is that outside curbing. They're catching too much of it, possibly grass, and then whipping it to the inside pit wall. Bubba's right half of the wing is broken. What started as a great race for Bubba is unfortunately went bad quick. He is going to have to pit next time around, and we'll see what kind of tire strategy he goes with. As a matter of fact, J-Rod is in the pits this time around. I'm going to give one moment here. We got to give some love as we're watching the Ashcan on track as McSendit is starting to close in on Mebe. And King Tank, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Giving love to Brian Mosser. And we'll do it as well. Brian Mosser, P5 right now after a great qualifying effort. And there is the commentator curse as the tail end whipped out for Brian. He ate wall. There he goes, sliding again right in front of K-Dog. Great poise by K-Dog. Did not get into the rear out of him. But Brian Mosser, that's wing damage. Unfortunately, both Toro Rossos are looking at early pits. Brian's car is a little bit free. We saw it at his Bubba, and there he goes. Brian's still trying to attack these corners, but with that damaged car, it's not working out for him. He is falling off the grid as well. He's now down to 10th. He absolutely has to pit at this point. That is going to be to the benefit of the Haas drivers. Prowler and Ciampa now, 8th and 9th. Whoa, Ciampa really attacking the grass there. Scary moment. Field's starting to spread out a little bit, though, from all this craziness that we're having. But the battle is now tightening up front. McSendit, he was just 0.2 of a second behind Mebe. Now Mebe is able to stretch it out a couple more tenths. Gordell, that curse is real, buddy. And on top of it, Bubba just got himself 5 seconds for speeding into pit road. And I do believe, Brian is on his way out. I thought the Toro Rossos were going to stack up for a little insult to injury, but I'm just heartbroken for Brian and Bubba. A great start to this race, unfortunately. There's still a whole lot of racing left, though. We're only on lap 5 of 29, so there's still a lot of laps to go. A lot can happen. The guys are going to need to get themselves back in it. Speaking of back in it, we're going to jump up on a teammate battle. This is Ciampa attacking the inside of Prowler. The two Haas's looking to swap positions. And there we go. Prowler didn't put too much of a fight. Some great teammate respect there. They know they're both in the points. They're both looking good right now, so they don't want to risk it. We're going to keep the battle on here because as Soldier 6 in his debut race is looking to contend for some points and bring the battle to the Haas. His teammate in the Williams, shout out to him, Axton, who started in the back. He is our early hard charger of the race. He is +9 right now, benefiting from everybody's mistakes, able to have a good, strong run early on these super soft tires. Axton trying to show that that podium in preseason at France was no fluke. He has strong run, too, at Singapore, but with a lot of other drivers at Singapore, could not keep that original wing on the car. So Axton looking to bounce back, couple seconds behind K-Dog, looking to bring the fight to him. Now we're going to go back. This is Prowler in 9th place. Trying to keep up with his teammate. Ciampa starting to pull away a little bit. And we got Soldier 6 and Bougie. Two rookies to this league in 10th and 11th. Trying to bring the battle to Prowler. Points on the line in that battle. Oh, dude. Wilder, you didn't have to do that, my man. Thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate it. And Bubba, unfortunately, it's still going bad for Bubba as he gets himself a 3-second penalty. Here we go, the battle for 5th. K-Dog is in a groove right now. He is bringing the battle back to Aaron Webb, as McSendit is the first driver to pit. McSendit going on softs early. So McSendit, could he possibly be trying to do the one-stop strategy? He's on soft tires. He's actually found a nice little bubble. He's going to come out ahead of Chapa, but Chapa with a head of steam. Did Chapa get into the back of him? It's hard to tell that front wing because of the halo. But it looked like the car's wiggled. Oh, McSendit locks it up. We talked about it, the two-time champ running no assists. They're trying to get those fresh tires to use, even though they're harder than the Super Softs. Brand new tires. So he's going to try to pull away from Chapa, but that car is sliding right now. He's got to get the temp in him. Going back up to 5th place, K-Dog. Still stalking Aaron Webb, about a half-second behind. All right, we're going to actually go ahead and jump back. We were seeing this battle earlier, and now it is tightened up. Oh, no, K-Dog is wrecked out. We got a wreck in the back as well. We got debris flying everywhere. Heartbreaker for K-Dog, but also Prowler, Soldier 6. On that fast bend, there was contact into the wall. Wings are broken. Debris everywhere. Oh, just an absolute heartbreaker for 3 cars in a matter of a couple seconds right there. Especially for K-Dog, who is in the top 5. The GT3 champion now falling to the bottom of the leaderboard. That is a double DNF for the McLarens in this race. As Prowler now, him and Soldier 6, both with some heavily damaged cars, trying to limp back to pit road. This could work in Brian Mosser's favor, who is up in the top 5 early in this race, now finds himself back into the points after the gentlemen are pitting. Aaron Webb, now this was a scheduled pit stop for the Sauber driver. Aaron is going to get out in front of Brian, so Aaron's going to have plenty of open racetrack in front of him. It's going to work out as he's on the super soft tires. Now we got to go up front. Mebe has pitted and Mebe is shoving Axton off track. This is going to allow McSendit now to battle Axton. So a little aggressiveness there from Mebe, knowing McSendit is right on his tail after they have pit. Nick Dahi has inherited the lead. He has not pit yet. Axton has not pit yet. Chapa in 5th place has not pit yet, as he is bringing the fight to Axton. Here we go. So we were talking about all the different tire strategies playing out. Means guys are going to find themselves in parts of the track they weren't expecting to, and that's when traffic is coming into play. We have a lot of battling going on right now. McSendit on the softs, Mebe on the softs as well. So not only are they racing each other, they're going to try to race this tire to the end. There goes Nick Dahi. He went into the pits. He's coming out. And he's going to split Chapa and Axton. Very close call there. Exit to pit road is not the greatest design, so I know Nick wasn't trying to squeeze off Chapa. It's just one of those no-man land kind of moments. Chapa did the smart thing, backed off. He's having a great run right now in his Haas, so no point in trying to risk damage. Dahi now needs to get around Axton and try to take the battle back up to Mebe and McSendit. Dahi on the softs as well. And Wilder, I really appreciate it, my man. To be honest, LSR, McSendit could have one-stopped Singapore last week. However, he decided at the very end, because he had like a 40-second lead, to go ahead and do an extra pit stop, get hypers, and make sure he had the fast lap of the race. So, I mean, the one-stopper can be done, but the driver has to dedicate himself to that one-stopper, kind of like how it was back in 2016. That's why I'm saying. So the one-stopper is not obliterated, but you have to know early that that's exactly what you're doing. All right, let's go back to 9th place. J-Rod and Brian Mosser. Guys battling for 5th place earlier in this race, found trouble, now sees themselves back in 9th and 10th, but trying to recover. Here we go. Axton, he's in. He started on the super softs, and McSendit has a 3-second penalty. He is the only one so far I've seen of the leaders with a time penalty. Axton going on the softs and changing his wing. So it's a longer stop for the Williams driver. However, he might be good to go from here. If he took those super soft 10 laps, he's going to try to take the softs 19. As he is dropping down the grid. It looks like he's going to fall down to 10th place. There's AB in 11th. He is just now entering the front stretch, and there he goes. So Axton still in the points, +6. His teammate now, Bougie, is the hard charger of the race at +9. Bougie, though, starting on those fresh super softs. Oh, that's not the same. Excuse me. Bougie's in the Mercedes. The colors threw me off there. So Bougie, the lone Mercedes out there, since Marquesas did not. And here we go. McSenna got himself 3 seconds. Mebe got himself 3 seconds. That now leaves Nick Dahi 4 seconds behind this battle. He's got 3 seconds in pocket, so he needs to close that gap. What he needs is McSenda to catch Mebe and those two to start duking it out so Dahi can close that gap before the end of this race. Aerostrike now in 5th place. He already made his pit stop. He's on softs. He's catching up to Chappa. Chappa on his original set of super softs, though. And Chappa stays out. He opened up the inside door. Aero's going to take it. We got a drag race down the front stretch. Again, Chappa racing really smart. Backed off a little bit. We got a Sector 2 yellow. Not seeing who it is. But Chappa racing really smart so far. He's +5 in this race. He's picking his battle spots properly. Trying not to make sure he gets any damage on that Haas machine. So great run for Chappa. He still has to make his pit stop, however. And there he is in chat. Unfortunately, we were rooting him on. He had a great start to this race. K-Dog clipped curb, and that's all it took for him to get shot across the track into the wall for the DNF. So tough finish, but a promising start. So you got to walk away with the head held up a little bit high at least. Back up front, McSenna hanging around this half-second mark as he gets a little bit of grass there. It's going to allow Mebe to pull away just a little bit. But McSenna not letting Mebe totally run away, keeping himself within DRS. Now we're going to go ahead and take a moment. We're going to hop on board with the Sauber. Let's talk about the new ERS system. So what this is the ERS is a new battery-powered boost system, if you will. We have a Sector 3 yellow. Let me double check real quick, and that's going to be Axton. Unfortunately, it looked like maybe the same curb that K-Dog clipped. Axton was able to woe his car up before he DNF'd into the wall. However, you see there is no front wing on that Williams. That is a heartbreaker for Axton. He is going to have to pit now. He was looking at a one-stop strategy. That is no longer in play. Hopefully for Axton, though, he has a second set of soft tires. If he does, he can put those on and still, make it a two-stopper. But that's interesting, though, from what K-Dog was saying and what we saw with Bubba on the front stretch and J-Rod on the front stretch. The curbings, the guys are really attacking these curbings. These cars look a lot more free as we got a Sector 1 yellow. And that's going to be AB. Unfortunately, he has lost it in Turn 1. Not severely damaged on that Force India, but so he'll look to continue. But no, we're seeing these cars slide around a lot, so it's not totally shocking that just a little bit of curbing is upsetting the cars enough to unfortunately cause a couple DNFs. And there comes Axton out of the pits. I saw him on a fresh set of Ultras. So Axton will have at least one more pit stop to make. Tough break for his debut race. Looking so good to finish in the points. And then just one mistake. Again, it's not over, but he is going to have a lot of ground to make up. Now let's go back to this ERS system. So it's pretty much a boost system with the battery that the drivers have to control. The battery will replenish itself under braking, as we're seeing with McSender right now. Though that was not a very hard braking zone. You see, it did jump up a little bit. We're going to look up here. Again, on the brake, now you're seeing the ERS generate. There's 5 settings. The faster the setting, the more acceleration, as we've got AB again in the grass. This time it looks like he may have had issues and then just dove out of the way to make sure he didn't impede the leader. So great sportsman there from AB. Not having the race he wants, however, make sure he's not affecting anybody else. So the drivers are going to toggle 1 through 5. 5 is the fastest acceleration setting that you're going to have, though it's going to eat up the most energy. PS4 will give you the most top-end speed. So it's very selective when you're going to go in the fourth setting. And then again, when you need to charge battery, when you're in the hard braking zones, you go down to setting 1 or setting 2. Try to charge that battery back up as much as you can, and then let her rip once again. So the drivers, if they try to do a manual ERS and not just the automatic, they have their hands full in the cockpit this season. All right, McSendit still keeping it at a half second. Dahi is starting to fall back, though. Remember, Mebe and McSendit both have a 3-second penalty. Dahi does not. And Zeke, like every other assist, you can have it on auto if you wish. But these guys are trying to find every advantage as they can over one another, since the competition here is so stiff. You can't afford to give away a 10th. So I know some guys out there are running it manually. And it's going to take a while to get into a groove. And K-Dog, yeah, we were going to bring the camera. You saw you were about half second behind Aaron. We were watching a 3-car battle a couple seconds behind you. That's when I saw your name black out. And then unfortunately at that exact moment, we also had a 2-car wreck. So, oh man, there was a lot of commentary curse going on in that 5-second span. Right now, this is the closest battle for position that we have on the track. We also have Prowler, though, closing out on Bubba. That's a battle for the final point. As we look at the pit stops, 13th and 14th, Axton and Ranga so far are the only 2-stop drivers. Now looking at the tires, J-Rod has been out there the longest on his Super Softs, trying to recover from his spin, along with Brian Mosser. Brian on the softs, though, so he's got some more laps in the bank on that tire. We're going to expect J-Rod to come in and pit soon. Aaron Webb, he's on 6 laps of his Super Softs. He'll pit in a handful of laps. And then we've got all our top 4 on the softs trying to make it to the end. Bougie on his first lap of softs, he's going to look good to make it to the end. Chapa, 2 laps on his softs in 8th place. He'll be good to make it to the end. And as McSendit has had some issues, had to catch that car, and boy howdy did he just give Mebe a ton of time. That half second has climbed to 2. So with that mistake then, now let's go as Bubba caught a little bit of grass. That's going to allow Prowler to close in. Prowler with Slipstream, with DRS. A little bit too far back to make a move on the Toro Rosso. He's going to keep it in line, but he's going to close in coming into turn 1 and 2. Bubba again, sliding that Toro Rosso. Both Brian and Bubba have that car pretty free tonight. It's worked to their benefit after a great qualifying effort, but then we also saw both guys have issues with curbing. This is a battle for the final point. Prowler. Oh, Prowler goes wide. I was about to say, Prowler has 7 laps on these Ultra Softs, so he is near the end of this tire. Bubba about halfway through his soft tire. And there we go. Because of that grass issue, Prowler now has dirty tires. He has to woe back. Got to get those tires cleaned off before he can bring the fight back to Bubba, if he doesn't pit beforehand. We're going to ride with the Haas machine a little bit longer. We don't have any immediate battles going on, so we're going to see if Prowler is going to pit this time. He did seem like he was faster than Bubba, the way he was catching him. But has he seen the end of this Ultra Soft? Yes, he has. So, Prowler taking it 7. I would not be shocked if we see a soft tire. If he's feeling frisky, maybe a super soft. But I would expect at least a soft, and we have a Sector 1 yellow. And that's going to be AB again. Unfortunately, AB, in his first full season in F1, he did a couple races at the end of last season. Just not having fun at all with turn 1s and 2 here in Australia. That's going to be another broken wing for the Force India driver. Prowler put on super softs. It'd be interesting to see if he could take it to the end. Well, we have seen guys go 12, 13 laps on the super softs. So Prowler trying to take the tire advantage, but we saw right there the blue lights flashing. Here comes the leader, Mebe. which stinks for Prowler. He wants to go, he wants to fly, but doing the sportsman thing, observing the blue flags. Now, McSendit is a little bit back from Prowler, so Prowler trying to use the fresh tires right now, see if he can hang on with Mebe. Try to keep that distance. McSendit is actually going to hopefully catch a little bit of slipstream off of Prowler and allow that. And there's AB again in the grass. Let's see if McSendit can use the lapped car to help try to chase down Mebe. It was almost 2.5 seconds a few laps ago. McSendit now has it just within 2, right around 2 seconds flat. And we have got yellow sectors all over the place. What is going on right now? I think the Sector 3 was AB getting out of people's way. Not sure what the 1 or 2. And here we go. Battle time. J-Rod, his super safes are at the end of his life. Brian Mosser catching a little bit of wall. I didn't see any debris come off the wing, though. This is a battle for 6th place. These gentlemen were battling earlier in the race. Oh, no. Aaron Webb. As J-Rod went wide, Brian's going to overtake him. We're going to ride on the Toro Rosso of Brian. Actually, we're going to ride with Bubba. We're going to try to see where Aaron Webb was disabled. And there he is. That is the same spot K-Dog wrecked. So Aaron Webb and K-Dog early in this race battling for 5th place at separate times in this race have wrecked in the exact same spot. So tough break for Aaron Webb, who had a solid top 5 run going tonight. Not the way he wanted to start off this season, but the speed was promising. Brian Mosser now is going to take the 5th spot. Again, shout out to this young man. It was an unofficial season, but we had about 8 weeks at the end of NASCAR Heat before the new game came out. So it was an unofficial multi-class season that Brian found a groove, won some races, and won the unofficial points championship. So Brian, he didn't care if it was unofficial or not. He was feeling good. He was in a groove. He actually has had some decent runs in GT3 lately, and showing that momentum is still there with the young man as he is donning the Toro Rosso for the first time and looking at a potential top 5 tonight. It's not going to be easy on him as Chapa is chasing him down on the fresher soft tire. And Axton, with a little bit more salt in the wound, has to pit first. Oh my God. I do not know how that was not a DNF, but thankfully, Brian Mosser, the commentator curse was really, really real. Oh my goodness. That is a destroyed wing, but the car is still going. Brian had to pit anyway, so at this point, he can pit now, get super softs, and we'll just pretend that was his scheduled pit stop. And we had yet another DNF. We're going to see... not sure where Soldier 6 wrecked out. We're going to hop around some cars, see if we can kind of see it. But, again, that is going to be the 4th DNF of the evening, all from damage. And here comes Brian pitting. There's the new wing. There's the super softs like we expected. So Brian is going to... where's J-Rod? J-Rod is going to overtake Brian due to that extra time in the pits. Bubba is actually going to overtake Brian as well. But Bubba, on some old soft tires, probably going to have to pit himself. Though Bubba looks like he might be able to take it long enough to do ultra softs at the very end. Brian's going to fall down to 9th place. Here comes McSendit. Brian serving the blue flag. And during all this time too, so McSendit has lost another half second. It was around 2 flat. Now it's down to about 2.6. Oh, I know Aaron Webb experiencing some mechanical issues. Lost focus trying to stop the car from bogging down. And that's when the curb and the wreck happened. So unfortunately for Aaron Webb, again, had a great start to this season. Not going to get the finish he wants, but the speed was there in that Sauber. Now the cars, because of all this craziness that we have had going on, the field now is starting to get spread out. We have no immediate battles for position. The closest battle is McSendit, 2.5 seconds back of Mebe. This is a bit of a predicament for Brian Mosser. He has the freshest tire. He can run fast right now. However, he is stuck behind the leaders, and he can't really pass them back, as Bubba now is going to make the pit, so the Toro Rosso drivers are going to swap positions. Brian's going to take 8th. Bubba falls down to 9th. We'll take an eye out on Bubba, see where he's going to come out compared to Prowler. And, oh my goodness. Another DNF from a man having a career race. You're going to see it on the left-hand side. There's the broken Haas machine of Chapa. Absolute heartbreaker, as Chapa was looking at a top 5 tonight. Absolute heartbreaker. We wanted action, and whether it's the action we want or not, we are getting action here in the debut race at Australia for the F1 2018 League. Oh, absolute. God, I hate it. I really hate it. Aaron Webb having a great run. K-Dog was having a great run. Chapa was having a great one. And now these drivers are going to have no points to show for it. But as is with racing, the way it's been since the first 2 cars went side by side, one man's pain is another man's gain. We're looking at Prowler, looking at a career run. He is in the points. Brian and Bubba had great qualifying, and J-Rod as well. All 3 of them had great qualifying stints, had issues in the race. They're now all back easily in the points. Let's talk about Bougie in his debut, the lone Mercedes out there, looking to make those softs go to the end. He has 8 laps on him, trying to make another 8 laps on him. Remember, Bougie started in the back, looking for that one stopper to try to get himself a top 5. He has 5 seconds on J-Rod, but J-Rod on fresher tires is closing that gap quickly. Even if J-Rod catches him, Bougie is still having an amazing debut race. McSendit now really starting to lose time to Mebe. Brian Mosser on those fresh tires, which kind of stinks for Brian, because Brian did this once last year, where he had a late pit stop, had fresh tires, and captured his first career fast lap. I honestly think that, J-Rod set the fast lap. I think Brian might be able to contend with him. However, it's just, Brian's not going to be able to pass Mebe due to the, why? There's no headset in the controller. There's nothing to disconnect. PlayStation having some jokes here. Now let's keep an eye on Bubba. So Bubba, he decided to go supers. He didn't want to risk it and go on ultras. So Bubba on a fresh set of supers. We'll see what Bubba could do. If he could maybe try to tackle J-Rod for that fast lap of the race. You know, LSR, this is a street circuit. The street circuits are known for DNF, so Australia is normally not that kind of track, but it's showing it. I just think that, we've seen it car after car tonight. The guys are really challenging these cars. We're seeing a lot of oversteer, a lot of sliding, and the curbing is just catching them off guard. We've seen a lot of quick whips of the car going around. I believe that may be, yep, AB again. Hats off to AB. He's still going, and he's doing the best job that he can not to impede anybody. Not the race he wants right now, but, he's still out there trying to get the track time. So hats off to AB. The most important thing, like we said, though, is he is moving, like right there, just moving out of the way, not impeding anybody. So great sportsmanship there for AB. And he may not get a point. Well, he might get a point. There's still 6 laps left. There's a lot of DNFs that could still happen. But AB getting the track time, knowing that's the only way to get better. So hats off to him. Back up front, Mebe. Oh, God, no. As I gave him credit, the commentator curse strikes again. I was giving him love. And AB is wrecked out of this race. No idea what part of the track he was on. I'm trying to find... Oh, there he is. The same corner that got Aaron Webb and K-Dog now took out AB. That corner is vicious. Good Lord. So now just 11 cars remaining on the track. The battle of attrition is absolutely real. With all the issues that he's had, this now finds Axton back into the points. He was looking at a potential top 5. had issues, had to make multiple pit stops, but now he finds himself in the good, sitting in the final point spot. And here we go. J-Rod using that tire advantage. I did not see debris fly off the Red Bull, but he may have a yellow wing off that. Bougie making a mistake there, pinching him up against the wall. I don't know if we have desync or what's going on here, but this is not the kind of battle that we want to see going on for 5th place. That time, that was wings. I'm pretty sure that was the wing of J-Rod. It may have also been the wing of Bougie. I'm not 100% sure because Bougie did hit the wall. Matter of fact, here comes Bougie. Bougie is going to pit. And matter of fact, Bougie hit the wall so hard, it turned his soft tires super soft on the fly. Holy moly, did those Mercedes guys sprint out there ASAP. Hats off to them. There's a new wing. There's new super softs. This is going to allow Brian Mosser, still behind McSendit, but Brian Mosser jumps up into 6th place. Let's look at Prowler. Oh, Prowler is still not even to the final corner yet, so Bougie is going to drop 2 spots. He's going to find himself in 7th. Still, the hard charger of the race at +8. I'm not sure if that was desync or what happened there. I never want to call a driver out without knowing the facts 100%, but from the point of view that we had on J-Rod, it looks like Bougie was just trying to squeeze him off, trying to defend a little bit too hard there, and it cost him. Bougie now behind Aerostrike. Let's look at the interval to the leaders. We only have 5 cars on the lead lap with all the chaos that we've had so far tonight. And J-Rod is barely on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, let's go to Mebe. We're going to see J-Rod. Actually, I believe so. J-Rod's probably about 5 seconds ahead, 6 seconds ahead, and on fresher tires. So I think J-Rod's safe. I think we're going to end with 5 cars on the lead lap. And not only that, J-Rod, the purple time, the only driver to hit a 23 in this race. Denying Mebe of the hat trick. At this point, too, Mebe has no way to try to go for it. If he pits, that's giving away a win. We talked about him. He came in a handful of races. Didn't finish a single one of them in 2017. He looked like he was going to win the championship of the second half of 2016 before Forza, now Mystic Joker, or excuse me, back to Mystic Joker, as we know him, had that just absolutely insane career run, won, I believe, 10 out of 11 races, and took the championship away from Mebe. Mebe took a year off, and he's back, and he is showing why he is a championship contender right now. Looking to end McSendit's Australia win streak. He's got 4.5 seconds, and it's climbing. Looking at the intervals. Matter of fact, we have got to go, and here we go. This is a battle for position. Prowler bringing the fight to Bubba. Toro Rosso and the Haas are side by side. Bubba, oh wow. Bubba being really respectful for Prowler there. Trying to give him room, and in giving him room, sent himself off track, but Bubba keeps the car underneath him. He's got some debris on that tire, though. He's got to get the gravel off, get the grass off, and to see if he can go back on the offensive and try to chase down Prowler. There's only 2... Let's see where Mebe is. There's around 2.5 laps to go in this race, so Bubba has got some time to make up quick. Here we go. Actually, we do have a bit of a position... You know what? We're going to call it a battle anyway. Screw it. Dahi, remember, McSendit has 3 seconds. Dahi is 3.2 seconds behind McSendit. So Nick Dahi looking to try to move up 1 step on the podium based on Delta. He's just got to find a couple tenths here in the closing laps. We got Aerostrike in 4th. Involved in some battles early. Matter of fact, let's go... So Aerostrike, the first car on the two-stop strategy. I'm wondering if he thought the one-stopper was too risky and made a late pit stop. We're going to see, actually, if Aero, how many laps? This is his first lap, so we're going to see if Aero can go purple and try to take away the fast lap from J-Rod. Window low with the subscribe, but I think that may have been on YouTube. I'm not sure exactly what was happening there. I've got a YouTube emblem up on my OBS right now. And LSR Bubba has had several 3-second penalties, so. But Bubba is closing it back up. That's the thing, too, with these guys and the gaps. Ranga hit me with the prime. Ranga, you're still racing. What are you doing? You better have been in the pits. And there we go. That's what I was thinking. So Aero, no, he had 4th place lockdown. Went ahead and made a pit stop. And he just went purple. Give Aerostrike the fast lap of the race. Dahi now is within 3 seconds of McSendit. Oh, it's right at 3 seconds flat. So it's going to be really, really tight. We'll see what happens on the final lap. Here we go. Mebe still got a decent bit to go. As I say that, I realize he's on the final 2 turns, so here we go. White flag for the new Ferrari driver. Mebe, your pole sitter, is 1 lap away from claiming career victory number 7. First time in over a year he is looking to claim, not a game year, a calendar year, well over a calendar year, trying to claim his first victory. It might even be about a year and 4 months if my math is right. I'm still amazed, too. I'm not sure if Ranga made a pit stop or what happened there. I'm going to have to ask him afterwards. I'm actually flattered by that. Oh, Dahi gained a ton of time. There he goes. So that 3 seconds went down to 2. So Dahi looking to take second place here on the final lap based on Delta and a time penalty on McSendit. Mebe, entering Sector 3, survives the corner of death. That corner right there has taken out 3 or 4 cars. It's DNF 3 cars, and it has caused a ton of damage to multiple others. Mebe survives it. 2 turns away. There is the left. As he goes past pit road, there is the right. And congratulations. First ride in the Ferrari, career victory number 7, first time in many, many moons. It's gonna be Mebe. McSendit crosses the line, P2. He will finish P3 as Dahi will inherit second place after that time penalty is applied to McSendit. So McSendit given a little love after getting love last season. Remember, Odom's crossed the line before McSendit. McSendit got the win. This time McSendit crosses the line in second. Dahi is going to get that position. Brian Mosser, the first car, a lap down. Hats off to the young man. A solid 6th place finish to start the season. Fantastic drive in that Toro Rosso. Got Aerostrike, fastest lap of the race, taking 4th place. He's the lone Renault out there, but that's going to work out for him. Here we go. J-Rod, the final car on the lead lap as Bougie. He crosses the line, 7th in his debut race. He is the hard charger at +8. Prowler and Bubba are getting points. Axton by form of Ranga. There we go. He just crossed the line. Axton, with all the issues that he had, still goes +6, gets the final point. Ranga is the final car driving in 11th. Just waiting for J-Rod now, the last car on the lead lap. Damn near a whole lap back of Mebe, so J-Rod has taken the Red Bull for a ride. And that's going to make this race official as he crossed the line. Great recovery drive from J-Rod. Earned that top 5. And there we go. Aero calling it out. McSendit with the early pit. Threw off a bunch of guys' strategies, so... But Aero, hats off to you, brother. You made the right call at the end. You know you're going to be 4th, though, regardless. So you got the tires. You got the fast lap. If we had a proper safety car system, there was no way that thing didn't come out 2 or 3 times. and make this a solid. I totally forgot about it because we have brand new teammates. Ferrari starts the season with a 1-2. Mebe with the win. Dahi's second. Sauber gets his first podium in God no, if ever, with McSendit finishing third. Again, Arrow and J-Rod round out your top 5. Mosser, Bougie, Prowler, Bubba, and Axton round out your points finishes. Ranga, the last car running, 2 laps down in 11th place. And there you see it. The 6 drivers with DNF, with Marquesas at the bottom who disconnected in qualifying. So 7 cars who entered the race did not finish. Wow. Absolutely wow. Axton calling it. This is the first bug that we're seeing. Crashed out in quali. Gave him the wrong setup. So, but though, Axton, you had a great run, man. I know after your pit stop you had that mistake and kind of threw everything away, but before that you had a great run. And you know what? You were determined. You were motivated. You didn't give up, and you got the point on the war of attrition. So congratulations on that, my man. And I still want Ranga to enter the chat and tell me how the hell he subbed while racing. All right, now I will say this. Mebe has never had a mic. We've never gotten him in any kind of podium interview before. We'll see if he jumps in Discord. I doubt it, but... And Axton, I know you will be, brother. You got a lot of talent, man. Looking forward to see what you can do. You know, a lot of it, too, is that was your first race. Yeah, a lot of guys' first race, too. Not only for rookies, but it's one thing to practice and do all these fun races, but, man, when you're racing for points and the nerves are there, it's a whole different kind of feeling. So I think we were seeing a lot of those first race jitters, you know, work themselves out tonight. And Bubba, dude, you and Brian shocked me in quali. Great quali runs by you guys. That was fantastic. I know you had some issues in the race, man, but way to stick with it. Great finish, Bubs. I'm proud of you, buddy. All right. Well, we've got our first podium interview, so let's go ahead and drag him in. This is going to be the defending champion, McSendit. The Australia streak is over. My man, let's talk about your race. We did bring it up in the broadcast because you made the announcement to the league. How was your first race with no setup, or excuse me, no assists at all?
It's crazy, man. Mentally exhausting. I'm so tired after that. I can't believe I didn't crash, to be honest, because every one of my practice runs resulted in a pretty massive crash. So I'm really happy with it.
I was about to say, you and a lot of other guys were sliding tonight. Let me tell you, that was absolutely wild. At first, I couldn't really tell if it was, you know, maybe some netcode or something of that nature, or if you guys just love the hell out of some understeer. Or some oversteer, excuse me.
Yeah, our cars just have that little grip, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, man. Well, that was a hell of a ride. Now, I also mentioned, too, so you got a podium, but you got some loving last time at Australia. You give some loving. You had an early 3-second penalty, and that's what took you off that second step.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate way to lose it. But, yeah, it's funny. It was all on lap 1. I got 2 warnings on lap 1, and then so the whole race after that, I was kind of on my back foot, taking it maybe a little too cautious. And, yeah, just one more slip-up was all it took. But one penalty is honestly, like, again, way better than I expected. So, like, I'm not even bummed about it, like, at all.
I imagine. And now let's talk about it too. I mentioned it on the broadcast. Tire wear is a thing. And then to do a one stop in this game now, you have to dedicate yourself to that one stop. So what were your tires at the end of that race?
I think they were like 7, maybe not even 70, but like definitely no higher than 70. I was pretty comfortable, to be honest. I got a good setup here. Pretty good with the tires, but yeah, just understeer is really bad is the only thing. But I'd rather have that than spinning out.
Yeah. Well, it's, we're used to seeing you on the podium. Maybe not that low on the podium, but still a great run. We know that, I wouldn't say you handicapped yourself, but you're trying a new challenge. And I mean, you did what a lot of guys couldn't do tonight. You survived Australia.
Yeah, that was the main goal. So thanks, man.
Absolutely, and we got to give a shout out too because Ferrari went 1-2, but it was looking like it was going to be a solid Sauber night with Aaron in fifth, and unfortunately some curbing got him. But we talked about it. The competition this season is going to be a lot more mixed. So we're seeing it already in the first race, not only with drivers but teams. So I'm really excited. What goes down.
Me too, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a tight battle this season. I can definitely tell that. Top 3 within 1/10 in quali, like that's a good
nuts.
sign right there.
Yeah, I was excited to see that, man.
Be a good...
Well, we know Mebe wasn't going to hop in here. I still don't see Dahi anywhere in Discord. So we could shoot the shit for another minute or two if you want.
Oh, did you lose me for a second there?
No, you kind of skipped for a second, but nothing bad.
Yeah, well, I got nothing else to say. Big congrats to the top 2. That's all, really. They killed it. Because I think, it was actually all 3 of us. We're all no assist drivers on the podium. So that's rare, I think. Like, I don't even know when the last time that happened in PRL America. Like, actually, might be a very long time since 3 no assist drivers got a podium.
There had to have been a podium in 2016 involving Mebe, Majako, and I can't remember if...
And Nick.
Maybe
right?
Nick. I'm trying to think, or I'm not sure if... Excuse me, if Dubsy used assist or not, yeah. So I know it's been well over a calendar year if it even did happen.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. That's the way it ought to be, I think, because like those drivers are the ones that are working the hardest, and that really opened my eyes, like how hard it is to drive without the line. It's kind of like having it on autopilot, to be honest. My favorite term for having the line on is it's the choo-choo train game, because you're just like on a rail, like that green line. You're just riding the rail, and you can't get off of it.
And that's why I make fun of you guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm having a lot more fun.
That's why my track tours look like crap. They're not hot laps. That's me going out there without the line, trying not to die. So,
well, you're doing a good job if that's the case.
Well, thank you. Wait till you see the track tour this time, though. All the setups that I got from time trials, dude, these cars are dragging. Dude, sparks are just flying everywhere. I love it. I kept it in there. Awesome. I was like, screw it. I want to see this. But
nice.
McSendit, my man. Again, great run tonight. Hard-fought podium. So, and definitely looking forward to see what you could bring next week, my man.
Yeah, don't expect the podium. I'd say that much. This is a good track for me. So,
well, you told us not to. Probably a fluke. You told us not to expect it out of you, and look what you did tonight. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fluke, though. That's what I'm saying. Bahrain is like my worst. So
we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk to you next week. All right. Now we gave the champ some love. Now we've got to give the former PC champ some love. Nick Dahi bringing it home second. Nick, my man, let's talk about it. What happened on the start? Were you expecting the parade lap like I was?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, actually, here, let me turn you up real quick. There we go. All right, go for it.
Testing.
There you go. Now you're a little louder.
All right. Oh, man, I don't know. I wasn't sure because I heard them talking about it, and then I was so, concerned on, seeing if it was going to be one or not that I just didn't press the gas in enough. So, I realized that there wasn't going to be a formation lap, but then my mind wasn't in the right spot, so I just bogged down to the hog ranch or something.
Yeah, because at first it caught me off guard because I was going to start going through the field, and then I realized there's a second red light and a third red light, and that's when it clicked on me. It's like, oh shit, this is it. So, and then just thankfully, nothing really crazy happened on the start. The guy behind you was able to get around and kept the car in one piece, and then you had an amazing drive there.
Yeah, I just had I think I had a little scare with actually more back markers than anything. There's a couple of times when I came up behind back markers and they were flying around, sliding off the track.
Sliding on the track was the name of the game tonight. I mean, the Ferraris look steady. I didn't see a lot of sliding out of you or Mebe, but man, there were some wild rides going on out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely took a precautious setup, so my car was super stable, so like I wasn't fighting it at all, and it definitely helped. Like at the end of the stints, I was gaining a lot of time.
Yeah,
So if I didn't blow the start, I think I would have been real close to those guys. I mean, I
yeah,
ended
because
up getting 7 seconds, I think, on well, maybe not 7, but like 5 seconds on it.
oh my god, don't get arrested. What's going on?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Should I leave the chat? I don't know how to mute myself.
That's all right, brother. I got you. But no, yeah, we saw it at the end of the end of the race there because you were flirting with like 3.5 seconds on McSendit, and then kind of got around to 3 where that time penalty came into play, and then before you know it, the race is over and you're like a second behind him. So
Yeah, I had some ERS kind of saved up for the end, so that
nice.
was pretty good. So I managed to just like do a good consistent lap, put the car in hot lap mode, and then yeah, man, after that, I didn't know he had a penalty though. I kept doing like the race update thing, and in the other game it would usually tell you, but not in this one.
Well, my man, and you bring up a point too, and that's one thing I'm interested in seeing as the season goes on is how you guys are going to get creative with ERS and see like what really the prime strategy comes out for that to be.
I mean, there's like strategy throughout the whole lap, even with it. Like in the slow sections, you have. I mean, at least for me, I was taking it down, and then just like I needed to try to run high ERS on the straights. I don't know. Don't have the full grips of it yet.
Well, that's going to be the beautiful thing to see. Like I said, it's going to keep you guys on the toes. We're all going to learn on the fly together every Thursday night, so I'm looking forward to it. But my man, too, we talked about it. The last time a Mercedes didn't win the team championship, that was you and the other Nick and the McLarens back in 2016. Ferrari is a 1-2 to start the season off, man. That's pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like he had the pace here, man. He was doing 19s time trial and everything, so he was there. I mean, McSendit was super fast too. I think he had the pace over me too, like in just raw pace. But I think the tire strategy helped for me the most, just to stick with the guys.
Yeah, well, I definitely did, man. And like you said, it would have been super interesting to see what would have happened if there wasn't that, hiccup at the start. So, but hey, that's racing. We get to take that what if into next week. But
we'll see. I've never been good at starts in this game, man. I think for my next practice, I'm just gonna do starts.
There you go. Well, apparently I need to do a lot of iRacing practice on stopping in my pit stall because that cost me a top 5 last night as well. So it's the little things that, make the wins happen.
It's true.
But Nick, congratulations, brother. Again, hell of a drive. Great way to start the season off, and definitely looking forward to see what you have in store next week.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. And I just want to give a shout out to Mebe and McSendit too, because McSendit turned off the line and everything else. So mad props goes out to him for doing that.
Yeah,
thanks,
absolutely.
Dude.
Oh, I unmuted him just in time. That was perfect. But yeah, one more time for Twitch chat too. We got to give the love to Mebe. Again, he doesn't have a microphone. He's never done any podium interviews, so shout out. That was the Mebe that we saw back in 2016. That was a nice return to form tonight. He won the pole, led the most laps. Just great run by him, and we'll see if that consistency can be there. That'll be the big factor.
Yeah, it seemed like he was managing the race. Did you get some opportunities to get past?
I got real close a couple times. Never got alongside of him though, and then eventually I was just pushing so hard, and man, I smacked the wall so hard coming out of turn 6. That right-hander, kind of like a 90-degree right-hander, and I don't know how I didn't like DNF or get any kind of kept going.
Okay, because I think I saw you guys were.
Uh-oh, you guys still there?
Am I still here?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I noticed like you were like right from the mini map. You looked like you were right behind him the whole race, and then I saw there was a point where there was like 2 back markers, and then maybe that was when you hit the wall close to that, because then I saw there was like a couple second gap after that.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't the back marker's fault at all. I think it actually might have been the lap after that, but that was also a scary moment, like lapping 2 cars, like one was on one side of the track and one was on the other, and we're like going through kind of like a chicaney part, and it was just like, Jesus Christ, like there's one line right now.
That undercut was also smart that you did there too, because I think it looked like you almost got past him on an undercut.
Nah, wasn't even close, to be honest. I got lucky that
okay.
Axton held him up, was what it was, because Axton hadn't pit yet, and he actually made a good move on Mebby, I think into like turn 3 or something. I forget. And then they were kind of side by side a while, and that allowed me to close in. But honestly, my lap out of the pits on softs was just complete garbage. Like, definitely slower than whatever Mebby was lapping.
It definitely looked like you needed some heat in those tires, because we were following you out of the pits, and yeah, you were sliding.
Dude, yeah, it sucked. I'm kind of glad they added that to this game, though, because it makes the undercut not so powerful. Like, you can't just immediately start going really fast. Like, it's hard to do now. So that's good.
Like I said, all the racing aspects of this game has been fantastic from a league standpoint. It would have been interesting to see what the safety car would have done in this race and how that would have mixed things up, but...
Yeah, I could have used a safety car.
Or I could have said maybe the 4 safety cars that would have came out in this race, how that would have mixed things up.
Yeah, like, how are people, like, completely wrecking their cars? And
no, it was...
nothing.
The killer turn was... I'm trying to remember the turn number. Sector 3, the fast left, the fast right.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
The right-hander, guys were going wide and then spinning to the inside. That's what got K-Dog. That's what got Aaron. That's what got AB. Brian wrecked there, but didn't DNF. There was a 5th car that wrecked there. I think it was Ranga. Like, that corner was out for blood. And then we saw on the very last turn, when guys were going wide and trying to get on the straightaway, J-Rod spun there. Bubba spun there. Curbs were just eating guys up.
That's the Michael Schumacher crash right there out of the final corner.
Yeah, it was funny because when J-Rod did it, he looked further down the straightaway, and I was a little confused. I'm like, how the hell do you wreck there? And then the next lap, Bubba did it, and I'm like, aha.
That's how.
There you go.
Yeah, they made the curbs just like if you remember how the curbs were at like Azerbaijan last year, just like so tall. Like, it seems like that's how the curbs are at like every track now, which honestly, like, I'd prefer that, to be honest, because it forces you to stay on the track.
Yeah,
but
I think
it's harder.
A combination, too, like you said, of the curbs being more challenging. And then, like I said, I don't know if it was desync or netcode or what, but it just looked like every car except the Ferraris were just loose. Like, the oversteer was real on them. So you have that combination of a free car and then, curbing that's out for bloodlust. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Nick, what lap did you pit, man? How long did you go?
I had to pit the lap after maybe. I was gonna actually pit his lap, but he had to pit for you to undercut. So that forced me like a lap later, and man, I really lost time, like just staying out that extra lap. And then as soon as I came out of the pit entrance, Axton was like right there, and like I had to back out. Like I had to give him the corner, and I'm lucky I did because he went on my screen anyway. He went right for the apex. I would have like just wrecked.
Oh, that's so dangerous.
Yeah, I guess it never really came into play like in the last game, but in this game, man, I was like, man, the pit exit in Australia is fucking terrible. It puts you right in the line of fire. France is like that too. I saw that in the preseason race. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, like that is just an accident waiting to happen. I do not get Australia's at all. It's like, yeah, let's just put a car right in the apex going like 30 miles an hour.
Oh, hey.
That'll be perfect.
Yeah, Arrow said it too. France is the worst exit by far. That thing is atrocious. I remember we almost had a wreck in qualifying because there was a dude on his hot lap, and all of a sudden here comes somebody out of the pits, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, all right, I guess we can go ahead and answer banter time. So let's make this the official end of the broadcast. Again, shout out our podium tonight, coming home third, the champ, McSendit. Dahi with a masterful run will snag second. And then hats off to him. We couldn't get him in for an interview, but Mebe capturing his first win in what I'm guessing was probably about 16 months. Finds himself back in the win column. So congratulations to Mebe. Wait, the last time he won was like halfway through season 9? Or no, season 8. Season 9 and 10 were 2017. It was season 8. He didn't win at all in 2017.
Holy shit. Yeah, you're right. That was the season I joined. Like that was me. I just disrupted everything. That was like Mebby about to win the championship in season 8, going up against Forza, and then I came and just fucked it all up pretty much.
That was the
Yep, it
Memi
was awesome.
Extended War.
Oh man, good times.
That was good times. But all right, so that is the official end of the broadcast. We're not going